Oh god, we suck.
Hey everyone, welcome to Couch for It. You definitely heard some behind the scenes stuff there. No one needs to know about any of that.
Oh boy, I'm glad none of that was graphically.
Listen, I think not having graphics made it all way funnier. Like the part where I said, "Oh God, I'm sitting down like an old man." I hope you all enjoyed that. You can imagine what that was like. Anyway, I'm Drew Tillman. Welcome to Couch for It, and I am always joined by.
Hey, I'm Valonda. Up on the other side of this embarrassment.
That is what I often call the ocean, by the way. The embarrassment.
Oh, okay. This is our new term for it, the embarrassment.
The
Okay.
embarrassment.
Yep.
um,
I'm
we're
in.
we're gonna talk about episode 9 of Altered Carbon. Unless I missed an episode, pretty sure it's 9.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 9.
Okay, but I also want to quickly apologize. I have a new roommate outside. He's brought a dog over who's playing with my dog. You're gonna hear some noises both here and in the podcast. Can't help it. Just enjoy that two dogs are having fun that you
Yeah.
don't get to be involved in.
Yes. But it's all going to be totally fine and awesome.
It'll be great. I just want everyone to know if they hear it. That's what if they hear random barking or whatever. That's what's going on.
It's
Nothing
not
weird.
us. It's the dogs.
It's just the dogs. It's fine.
So Drew,
Yeah.
what did you think of this episode? First impression, well, technically second impressions, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, part of it was, oh God, I'm up early because I woke up at 6 o'clock to watch it. But beyond that impression was, yeah, this is the episode where all of that stuff happens that I vaguely sort of remember and rolled into one other episode. I'm super excited. And I was, because this is a great episode. As I told Valanda, this is the last hill on the roller coaster.
Yes. It's all crazy chaos from here, I'm hoping. For my part, I was like, I was sending Drew messages like throughout, like I came up with an idea for a part and a half, but like probably about 10 minutes through this episode and I sent it to him and I was basically live reaction of like, oh my freaking god. Yeah. This episode, holy shit, like some of it's just like, what? Huh? What?
And it starts off moving like there's no like and kind of
like
the
a
other
freight
episodes.
train.
Yeah, like the other episodes kind of had like a little bit of a slow beginning. Not terrible. It wasn't like, oh my God, nothing's happening like some of the Lost in Space episodes. But a few just like, okay, all right, here we go. Here's the setup for what's going on. Now we're going. This one was just like, let's go. Let's just move along.
We're still going.
We don't even have the standard like voiceover opening.
No,
this one.
no, I noticed that. I was like, what? Where did it go? What? What?
I wasn't there.
There was so much in this episode that made me went, oh my god, that's incredible. There are so many like little points that I'm probably going to have to remember at the end of our chat because I'm probably never going to remember as we go through. But oh my god, some of this stuff was like, holy shit, man.
You're also in luck because while watching this at 6 a.m. and dealing with a dog who decided she wanted to play at 6 a.m, I have notes.
As is our tradition, I did not take notes.
It's fine. I have them. I will carry us through the note minefield.
Okay.
And the first minefield that we're going to avoid is the show opens on a blurry shot of someone playing rock, paper, scissors, or whatever you want to call it regionally. I don't know. That's what I call
paper,
it.
scissors, rock. Some other
Yeah,
things
they're playing that game where you 1, 2, 3, and you make a hand symbol and somebody loses.
Yes, basically.
That's the most bland, vague description I can give of that game. I can't make it any worse.
They give vague hand signals and somebody loses. Like, wait, someone goes directly to the middle finger? Drew.
Yes. Honestly, that's how I play rock, paper, scissors. Nothing beats the middle finger.
Nothing beats the middle finger except paper cutting it off with scissors and smashing it with a rock, of course.
I mean,
anyway,
I guess.
So, yeah, we open to this vague scene, this vague blurry scene of the childhood game of paper scissors rock.
It's just two hands, yeah.
Yeah, just two hands playing this game. And then we move on to
we go to Kovac and Poe sitting at the bar in the Raven, and Kovac is apparently decided he's going to expound on how he knows the truth. He's figured it all out.
Yeah. So he's sitting there basically showing off that he knows what's going on.
And Poe kind of doesn't give a shit because he's a little upset that he had to go and murder another AI. And he's kind of giving Kovac some sass.
Yeah, he's like, did you not even tell Bancroft what happened? And Kovacs like, nah, I don't give a fuck. It's like you had me kill another AI for like just he's like, yeah, but they would have done horrible things to Miss
Lizzie.
Elizabeth's mind.
Yes.
And he's like, well, you probably had it coming. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but he's still so upset he had to kill another AI. It's great. And while they're sitting there, Kovacs keeps like, if you're paying attention to the visuals, one of his eyes keeps lighting up because he keeps calling people on his Oni. Like he keeps
Yeah,
trying to get a hold of Elliot
Elliot.
and Ortega. He calls Ortega and she doesn't answer, and he's like, damn it, pick it up. And then he calls Elliot, which he's like, no one's answering, and Poe's like, oh yes, the Elliots went to dinner. There's still some tension between them, and I recommended a restaurant.
That was my favorite bit because the restaurant, like we see the restaurant much later in the episode, it's like it's a
Oh,
dive.
it's a real shitty. But to be fair, if no one stays in AI hotels, I imagine everywhere around an AI hotel is like real shitty.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like,
got to be like greasy spoon
oh
dive.
yeah, just
Yeah.
nasty. Uh, but we're saved from a longer upset Poe because Ortega stumbles in, holding her side and bleeding,
Mm.
and
Basically turns around and says, ow, and
I
I've
killed
been
your
trying
sister
to, I've killed your sister many times, or something along those lines. I
so
killed
many
her twice.
times.
Yeah. And obviously he's like, well, you're a shitty person, but you're my sister. You're Ortega, so I better, you know,
Yep. And he takes her
beat
he
you up.
takes her into the elevator, and it cuts away from them to Poe inside virtual reality with Lizzie, having a slight conscience crisis of faith about how violence is not good.
Yeah.
Which I like because Poe's like, oh, I thought this would be good for you. I thought I would teach you to take care of yourself and you'd feel more confident. But now I'm understanding violence is not the answer, and it just makes more violence.
Yeah, I see that you're going kind of weird with all this violency stuff.
By the way,
And
everyone, that's a little foreshadowing line.
violence begets violence, of course. Of course. My
Um,
God, he's trying to teach us something.
he's trying to
Ah!
teach us something. But
No, run!
but I actually like this scene because Lizzie has gone full on crazy pants. By the way,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like
Like
she's talking about like things that don't make sense. Even this AI who's trained in psychosurgery is just like, what? The
yeah, it's like
fuck?
she's hit that level of like almost nonsense talking, but you can tell that because we've watched a lot of these things, these nonsense talkers, a lot of the things they're saying are true one way or another. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you pick up on the little nuances of some of the little things that she's saying, it's like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But she pulls off batshit crazy pretty well.
She does.
It's calm but still crazy. So it's not like it's
She's not running around crouched in a corner.
yeah.
She's still throwing knives and sitting very well put together and everything. She just happens to be talking about how some spiders build webs that cover whole trees, and they can touch a single thread and know what's happening anywhere in their
Anywhere.
web, including sometimes before it happens.
Yeah.
Which I actually like that because she says that. Poe looks very confused, and then she says, "Oh, you need to leave because I have to practice. It's almost time."
Hmm.
Which I think is great because it's creepy.
It is very creepy, but I like the references to the spiders. I hate spiders personally. No, I like the reference to the spiders and the spider web thing because there is that whole thing about the static on the web
Mhm.
of it basically reaching out or sucking the victim in. I love that image. I love that image that there's this kind of weird shit going on, and then yeah, she's very very creepy with the please leave, get the hell out of here. I need to do a thing
Yep.
now.
Oh, we
Leave.
also she talks about how she's been going on the internet.
Yeah.
Like she's been going out. She's been leaving her VR suite and just wandering the internet, watching things.
You mean like every one of us when we're bored?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like I'm bored and gonna surf the net,
Just
it's
gonna get
gonna
on
be
the
fine.
internet. What's going on over here? What's happening on Tumblr or Reddit or whatever? Uh, she's a bored, crazy lady.
It's bored and crazy. What else is she gonna do? Technically dead. What else is she gonna do?
Yeah,
Um,
not too much to do.
How much do I have to do right now? I'll check out Reddit.
Yeah. And it cuts from that scene to the next crazy scene, which is Kovac is bathing Ortega and cleaning up her wounds, but she's acting really weird.
Yeah, just straight off the bat, she's acting weird.
Yeah.
It's like she's sitting in the bath and she's obviously like fucking naked because they always are in these sort of things.
Well, also,
Um,
this is Altered Carbon, and everyone's naked all the time for some reason.
yes, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, she's sitting in the bath, she's naked. He's like doing the weird treatment with the kind of like handheld device to kissing up wounds, and she basically tries to get him to say that he loves her
Mm-hmm.
and tries to get him to say that he sent her to kill his sister's clones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Nah, that doesn't make any sense. What have you done?"
Yep. And then after a brief like twisting of the wrist kind of thing, she's like, "Oh, that took you way too long, Talk, because it's Ray in Ortega's body, and that's the it's so creepy." And then she stands up and she's like, "Oh, I can see what you like about this body." And it's like, "Stop trying to fuck your brother. Get this creepy
Yes,
incest vibe out of here."
it's so weird. Like it's just that entire. I don't know because she very much treats like we could be together. It's like I see what you like about this body. Yeah, this is good. Like we could be together
It's
forever
it's
and
yeah.
always. It's like
Oh, it's not. She doesn't like straight up like 100% say it, but it's definitely part of one of those things of I could just wear this sleeve and we can just fuck, and it's like, nope, we can't.
the answer is no. Nope, nope.
The answer
No.
now is no, and the answer tomorrow will be no.
Which is basically the answer he gives her. Which is basically like, nope, nope, not gonna happen. Nuh-uh.
Um, and they have this long conversation about, well, not really long. It's actually fairly short. But Kovac is like, "Where's Ortega? Where's Ortega? Is she alive? What's happening? Give me information, please, please, please." Like all this stuff. And Ray says that Ortega took blood, and so she is owed blood, and the Ghost Walker is gonna take it. She says his name, but I still don't remember it, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
L-U-N-G.
Yeah. I don't like him, and honestly, I remember watching the show the first time and thinking, I can't wait till he dies. And I remember watching it today and thinking, I can't wait till he dies. But the Ghost Walker goes to Ortega's family's house, and it's kind of intercut with the scene of Ray being like, "Let them go, or I'm just gonna kill everybody until you want to fuck me." Not her exact words, but definitely the subtext here.
Yes, it's definitely the I'm gonna kill everyone you care about.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care about anyone. And
Yep.
she calls his bluff, and yeah, the Ghost Walker goes to the house, to the apartment.
Mm-hmm. Kills Ortega's uncle.
Yep.
Kills her mom.
Yep.
And kills the two little kids who were playing with tattooed guy when he was the grandma.
Yeah.
And just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
And they do that thing they do with when they slaughter children. You never see it because that's harsh and cruel.
you just see their legs and they're lying in a pool of blood. And
Yeah.
yeah.
There's only actually ever one. I think there's only one thing I've ever seen where they actually show like the on-screen murder of a child, and I think it's 30 Days of Night. The creepy girl wandering around and they just slaughter her on camera. I'm like, oh, that's ballsy. They don't take that ballsy level on this. They just basically show the Ghost Walker walking in, watching these kids play on shooty game. And
Yeah.
then when and then when I think it's Kovacs turns up and has a look around, my favorite thing, and it's really horrible, my favorite thing about this shot where they discover it's the I want to say Tanaka, no, the guy who's the cop detective, the guy in charge.
That's Tanaka.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
nailed it. He walks in and we see from behind the hologram of what they're playing, which says "Game Over."
Yep.
And then the two kids are laying on the ground like dead. You just see their legs and lots of blood. It's like, oh man, that's harsh. That was where the I can't believe it came from. That was the moment I had the like, no.
That's what you said. Actually, I have a question. Do you think maybe they don't? Do you think maybe they don't show children dying for one? It's kind of like a fucked up thing. But do you also think maybe they're just like, this kid's not gonna nail this death scene? They just don't have the acting chops.
I don't have the chops. Well, I don't know. If I looked at like acting ability versus age, and we went to, for example, I don't know, let's say our favorite hate of
All
the
right, yeah.
Robinson children,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, no, 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 let's don't give it to them. I don't know. I think it's a very hard scene to put on a
Oh, it's
child.
it's it's definitely a hard scene,
Yeah,
and it's also it's one of those things you don't want to show anyway.
yeah, there's no
But
need to.
I also feel like there's a lot of this kid's gonna it's gonna be like a 1950s like and no one's gonna buy it. It's gonna be weird. Just no.
From like the actor's point of view, like every actor should desire a good death. Like you can't give it to a child; they haven't earned it yet.
They haven't earned it. They don't
They
have.
haven't been in show business long enough to earn a
They've
death.
got no life experience to play this death.
Yes. It's
Just lay
harsh,
down
but
in the fake blood and pretend to be dead.
yeah, I think it's I think with the like not showing like graphic stuff like that, I think it's along those lines of like we don't need to see it, like the
Yeah,
suggestion is enough in this situation. It's
yeah.
the same like problem I have with sex scenes. Like I don't need to see them doing all that crap because like I know what sex is. Please stop showing me this. It's awkward
Well,
and weird. And I
yeah.
think them waking up having a cigarette or like covered in like a sheet is probably good enough. I don't need to see the whole kit and caboodle. Thank you very much.
Fair. Yeah, I also just wanted to make fun of child actors because I'm
Oh.
a terrible person. But from that point, actually, because Kovacs runs over there and he sees all the dead bodies and he's standing in the kitchen. Oh, also, when the Ghostwalker is killing everyone, he stops to have a cookie.
Oh, he
Like,
does, yeah.
fuck off, dude.
He just randomly, just randomly stop. Well, I mean, to say randomly, probably really good cookies.
Probably they
Probably
were
quite
shaped
good
like
job.
turtles.
Yeah, they were. They were adorable.
Yeah, but Kovacs goes there and he's standing in the kitchen above Ortega's murdered mother, and he's having a moment, and it cuts away after him like standing there for a minute. It cuts away to a diner where Kovacs is sitting holding a stack, and Ray comes in, and there's some back and forth dialogue that I didn't write down, obviously, because that would be
I think the back and forth dialogue was, "This is Mary Lou Henchy.
Mhm.
You coded it." And she's like, "Yeah, I found a way to code these hookers to make them Neo C.
So they can never talk.
I'm an
Haha.
evil villain. Give it to me. I'm gonna
I'm-
kill everyone you ever know." And he's like, "No, I don't care about anyone." She's like, "I think you're lying." He's like, "No, I'm off. I'm gonna go get laid till there's no tomorrow, and then I'm fucking out of here."
He says, my personal favorite line, I don't care about anyone. I'm going to go to Orgy Island and then cast off this rock.
Yes.
Uh,
That's fucking beautiful.
so we know exactly where he's going. It's Orgy Island.
Of course.
And she says, I do remember her saying, like, you can't pretend not to care. That won't trick me. And she pulls out a family photo and she quotes where the wild things are. I really just want to point that out. Like, she quotes that. She's like, do you remember what mom said? She says, I love you so. I'll eat you up. I love you so.
I love you so much. I want to eat you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not be the exact quote from the book, but I was like, that's whenever I hear that sort of like that line, I'm like, that's where the wild things are. You weirdo. And we find
Yeah. She goes on to explain that she swallowed the photo. I think
no.
that's
She
says.
when she went into the orphanage, she only had a shirt left that was Kovac's. And when the Yakuza came, they said she couldn't take anything, but she wanted to hold on to that shirt, and they ripped it out of her hands. And then she only had some threads in her hands, so she ate it. She ate the threads so that she could have something of her brother inside of her.
That's super weird. That's super
Really
euphemism
shouldn't
right
have
there.
made them brother and sister if I can only imagine you kept every line from the book about two people who want to fuck. Please don't do that.
It's just, yeah, but the thing is, I don't know, like, this is like the sidestep thing. Like, if it ended up being a jealous lover, I think I'd be rolling my eyes quite heavily. Like, oh,
Granted, there is way more drama in it being brother and sister. Just can't take out the very
Yeah.
clear subtext of these two want to fuck.
yeah, I think if it was like it's a jealous lover, that would have just probably just annoyed me on its own. I'm just annoyed they kept that tension. Like the brother and sister angle works well because it's platonic. It's that platonic, like we belong together. We're brother and sister. Like we should care about each other. We're family. The family part probably bigger than we're brother and sister and have to be together in every way possible. I don't know. I think it definitely they picked up the right idea. They just didn't. They just were like, oh, I'm just gonna change it and edit, like rather than boyfriend, just put the word brother.
That's
It's just
kind of what it feels like. It feels like, and not to insult the writers of the show, I think they did a great job, but it kind
yeah.
of feels like they were like, okay, I got to write this thing. Cool. I guess I'll read it. Okay, so she's like really into him, but you know that it's kind of hard to build that. That's three people, and it's kind of annoying. It doesn't really work for a TV show because you can't have the same like drama. You know what? What if they were brother and sister? Okay, that would be really cool. Family drama is always cool. Yeah. I'm not gonna change any of the dialogue they have except for where they mention each other as brother and sister. You know what? I can't see how that would go wrong at all. Go right for it.
It's like someone did like Control and F, find and replace.
Yeah, they're just like brother,
Yeah.
boyfriend, there, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Be alright.
It's
It's good.
Oh, it's goddamn worst. Anyway, he leaves the diner, and then she has him followed
By the Ghost
by
Walker.
the Ghost Walker. And guess what? He gets into a car with half naked Miriam wearing. Well, I mean, she's wearing. She kind of looks like she's wearing that dress Rihanna wore.
I have to like, this is one of the things I wanted to pick up, which is that dress. Like, I don't often do the it's that dress kind of line. This is really that dress. It's just like, holy crap, this dress looks amazing. It looks
It's
like
a good
she's
dress.
covered in like tiny little diamonds or like drops of water or something. And like I think obviously it must be like a skin colored suit underneath, but you can't see the lines. And it's just like, it's just so beautiful. It's so pretty. It would never work on a real human being, but it's so
Well,
good.
it did because Rihanna wore that dress to something, and it was covered in Swarovski crystals or whatever. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
That dress was made at some point.
And then I am supremely jealous of the people who can wear that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's even a whole like you can find a thing where a reporter asks about it, and she's like, she kind of smarms at the reporter, and I think it's great. It's a great moment.
Yeah, like yeah, you asking people about their dresses is a little bit weird, I guess, these days. I mean,
Well, you could
what are you wearing? A t-shirt. It should be no different. But I have to
fair,
comment, the dress did look
but
really good.
you could also, I mean, you could kind of see Rihanna's nipples.
Oh,
Like that was why she was asking about it. She's like, you're wearing a very interesting thing here to this public event. It was one of those comments of, this is a thing. Please comment
is
on
this an
this.
intentional nip slip? Because that's just nip, dude.
Yeah, that's just having your nip out, like
Yeah.
Not to knock Rihanna, it was a great dress. She looked great in it. This Miriam looked great in her less sparkly version of the dress because it didn't look like diamonds.
Yeah, it wasn't sparkly,
Yeah.
but it was just good. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out how
Oh, it was
that
a
shot
very
was just
good dress.
amazing. Like watching him get in that like kind of like the hover car, whatever the hell it is. It was
Yep.
just a really nice, like, that visual was just really good.
A hover
Just
car
really
with a bed in the back, by the way.
yeah. It's like, yeah, he's going to Orgy Island. Fuck
he's,
yeah.
he's going. He's gonna go. But then it goes to a computer screen, and the car lifts off, and Ava says, "There he goes," and the camera pulls out and turns slightly, and there's Kovac leaning against a desk, and he goes, "Yep, there I go."
And then like the line underneath is like 18 hours later, and we're like, what?
No, 18 hours earlier.
Yeah, 18 hours earlier. That was the other like, oh my god moment when I was spamming Drew with almost live reactions. Like, holy shit!
Because we have gotten an official, oh my god, it's an actual heist type movie, and it's great because instead of that moment where Kovac is standing at the Ortega house, also feel free to jump in because I feel like I'm talking a lot this time. Like,
No,
I'm
that's
just
good. That's good. That's fine.
but it's him standing at the Ortega house, and he leaves. He just like strides out. He's clearly got an idea, and then you see the Elliots having dinner at this dive, and they're having.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I said this off camera, but I said it to you about how later they have the Elliots clearly just like move on, and there's like such a connection between them, and it's so cute because they're sitting there. Oh,
Yeah, you're so right. It's so adorable. They have like they sit down and they have the discussion about like I think it's along the lines of like I blame myself, you're a dick, I'm a dick, that kind of thing.
what do we
And
do?
they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, what do we do now? Like how do we do this? And there's a moment when we pan out and we see from outside of the diner, we see Elliot reach across and take his wife's hand, and it's like, I thought that's the bit Drew was talking about.
Not all that. He kisses her hand, and it's so gentle and nice. And then Kovac ruins it because he runs up to the window and starts banging on it. He's like, "We gotta go, we gotta go,"
I gotta plan.
which is also one of those great kind of tropey things of, oh, look at this very tender moment. Character just freaking out in the background.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like it's those like normally gonna have the tender moments like it's that awkward thing afterwards like now what do we say to each other like
Yeah,
in real life we have that awkward like I'm gonna make some tea which in TV shows you can just either cut to another scene or you have to have someone interrupt them
yeah.
so you don't have that awkward like I I know what to say now I told you I love you now what
What do we do?
oh I'm gonna go make some tea
But
that's not my reaction after I say I love someone. It's to go make tea. I need to let you know
I
that
gotta
I'm British,
make.
I'm not that British.
I love you. Now I have to make tea. It's in my blood.
It's in my blood.
I just have to do it. Um, but we actually cut from there where he runs up, slamming on the window and freaking out. We cut to Tanaka at the Ortega house, and he's like, it shows him throwing up because of all this blood. Like he's known this
Yeah.
family for years because he worked with Ortega's
My
dad.
father. Yeah.
Yeah, which also in my notes, this is unrelated to any scene, but I put Ray is starting a war that she is not ready for.
Yeah.
Because in this one moment, again, violence begets violence. She has, in order to punish her brother, killed so many people, and she's just really quickly made a ton of enemies. Enemies that will work together. They're not like disparate enemies. They are enemies that are very capable of teaming up.
Yeah. Like they are capable of functioning, and a lot of them already do function together in one way or another anyway.
Exactly.
Which is like a Ray, my girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And also she slaughtered children.
Oh yeah. She done fucked up. She's been around for 250 years, but this is the moment where she fucks up.
She done fucked up hard.
Yep. And it cuts back to the hotel where Kovacs is telling everyone, hey, you all need to get the fuck out of here. Oh, actually, he doesn't say it yet. He's like talking to them, kind of tells them a little bit. And then Mickey walks in, just kind of bumbles into the room.
Really does. Like
He gets so many guns pointed at him.
approaches him with a shotgun. It's like I'm not mindful of strangers. I'm not in a good mood for strangers. Pumps the shotgun and then gets the two
Gatling guns.
Gatling guns pointing at him. Mickey Warren just like puts his hands up like, oh.
Even Kovacs has a gun pointed. He's got 4 guns pointed at him within like the span of a couple seconds, and Poe's like, "You need to get the fuck out of here because I'll kill you." And Kovacs is like, "No, let's hear what he has to say." Mickey's like, "I know Ortega, and I haven't heard from her, and I don't know if she's alive or dead. And also, I figured out how to find the Ghost Walker, and blah 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 blah." It's one of those. I'm a nervous guy, and I don't know what I'm doing here, and someone might kill me.
Please don't kill me, but I need your help and you need my help, and I have things. Please don't kill me. He does a brilliant job at that.
Oh, you really have. So, and Kovacs is like, cool. You all need to leave. Poe, buy them new ID or get the new IDs. I will pay for it. Everyone needs to get the fuck out of the city and run as far away as possible. Hey, Mickey, you're a cop. Give me your badge.
Yeah.
Why?
He basically
Why do you need it?
mugging a kid for his lunch money. He basically takes the badge and fucks off.
I love it because Mickey pulls it out to give it to him. He's like, "Why do you need it?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go steal stuff from evidence lockup." He's like, "Wait, no, that's a violation." And
He's like,
Kovacs
that's,
is already
I'm
gone.
gonna lose my. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you see like the 4 of them, the Elliots, Mickey, and Poe will just look at each other like,
Yeah, they're just like, "Oh no," and it cuts to Ray's weird house, and Ortega's in a pod thing, and she's all hooked up, and Ray wakes her up to tell her that she's gonna go into the VR program with the Ghost Walker because he's gonna be a creepy fucking creep. And
yeah, a creepy fucking weirdo because Ortega tried to take
Kovacs away.
Kovacs away from her.
Yeah.
And I killed the last bitch who did that. I'm like, oh,
It's like, are you still not getting he's your brother and he does not want to fuck you?
he's not down to fuck. Please
Like,
don't.
sorry, he's not interested.
Yeah, it's just get the hint, girl.
But that's like the whole scene is it's just like, hey, she's gonna get tortured in VR. Cuts back to Kovacs coming back into the hotel. Poe's like, hey, the Elliots want to talk to you, and he's like, that's cool. I told you to get them the fuck out of here. Leave me alone. And my favorite is Poe's like, yeah, and no, don't let anyone in your room, right? And Elliot's like, yeah. He goes upstairs. And
You see him-
Poe
you
is
see him-
Kovacs is trying to do so much stuff here. I love it. You like go over. No, I'm done.
So, so, so we cut to Kovac inside of his room, where there's like this terminal has been installed, so he can do all this crazy cyber shit, and he's growing a clone of himself off to one side in this weird like it looks like. Hey, I'm gonna go buy something from the Mac and Apple store. I'm gonna throw it on the ground, and poof, we're gonna have like an eye turn up out of here, and iCloud appears, and like he's trying to work this thing and his schematics for head in the clouds.
Head in the clouds. Yep.
Yeah, head in the clouds, and basically he's knocking at the door, and he's completely ignoring it, and then we just hear bam, and Elliot's just kicked down the door. It's like didn't answer.
I love the callback to the first time they meet because he's like, "What the fuck? You didn't answer." And exactly. I love because he looks at him and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then there's a very slight noise whenever Poe appears anywhere. It's like a little like digital like, and Kovac turns to look at him. He's leaning against the fire like the mantle. And he's like, "I didn't let him in."
Yeah, it's like no.
Just the most like again smarmy bullshit.
I love this scene for so many reasons. There's so much in this scene. So Elliot basically says, we're here. Ava basically goes, "You're doing this wrong." Basically goes over and starts. She just basically pushes him aside and starts working on the computer. Like, you need to do this, and how this is how this work, and how this is how that work. And he's just like, he just gets taken away. Like he gets like, no. You're not responsible enough. You're not good enough at this. We are. So move. And he gets brushed aside.
They just come in and like children, they're just like, "Oh, what's that? Because they find a micro wire camera and they're like, "Oh, this is really cool. What are these schematics for head in the clouds? Oh, what's that? Oh, this means this and this is this." And he's like standing there like, "Yeah, I already figured all that stuff out." And they're like, "Yeah, but you're not good enough to do it." So
yeah, but essentially it goes along the lines of like, you need the hacker to get into hack stuff. You need Mickey to get in to give you ID to get through this bullshit. You need Elliot to actually install the fucking micro wire camera in your eye. You also need like oh, jeez. You need Poe.
You need Poe. And I love the scene because Kovac is like, that's the envoy way, is wherever you go, you find people and you line them up like cannon fodder, and you stay in the back and they all die. You make friends. Like, what is it? You make friends and line them up like cannon fodder. And Ava's like, "Oh, we're friends."
No, it's not. It's Poe.
It's Poe? Oh, I knew someone said it.
I stopped and rewound it 3 times because I needed to see who said that line. It's this sad little, like, we're friends? Like, I had to check who was speaking, and it was Poe. I was like, yes!
It's so good. Oh, we're friends? And then everyone's like, yeah, but we're also not cannon fodder. Like, this isn't your fight. It's our fight. And we're going to take it.
Essentially goes along the lines of like, you helped my wife and my daughter, you helped my husband and my daughter when no one would. Ortega's my friend, has been for a while, and I'm gonna nail this bitch who's taken her down. And Poe's like, we're friends.
Because once again, the pack is the envoy's strength. Like,
yes,
the envoy knows a lot of stuff, but the whole thing is you go in, you find people who are better than you at stuff, who can do that stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. They just do it. And then it cuts to the clone coming out of the grower, and he's dressed exactly like Kovac, and they decide to, I guess the smartest way to handle this, play rock, paper, scissors to see who goes to Orgy Island and who goes to get murdered. And I love the conversation because they talk about like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to throw the game. You only think that because you're trying to throw the game. And they chuckle about it like, ha ha ha, we are great friends.
It's like, we're identical. This is bullshit.
So they play 3 out of 5 rock, paper, scissors, and then it cuts to the whole like him flying away in the car, and Elliot's like, I don't get it. You won, but he's the one who gets to go to Orgy Island. And Kovacs is like, well, I won the right to decide, and he hasn't had sex yet, so
that was my favorite line in this episode. It's like, why should he get to go to Orgy Island? It's like, well, he's a virgin, dude.
He's a virgin. Let him go have sex. It's whatever, man. I've already almost died like 1 billion times, so yeah, whatever.
Exactly. I just love that. Like, just that little moment. I just freaking love that. But so now we're caught back up time-wise. Like, we're now back in the correct time stream. There's no backward stuff. There's none of this now. We know what the plan is.
There's a little backward stuff because Kovac goes to talk to Lizzie, and basically all she does is talk backwards now.
Yeah, she talks backwards, which is weird, and she's throwing knives at a picture of a kitten,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's adorable and hilarious and terrifying all at
Yep.
once.
Uh,
Um, yeah, and she plays. She talks weird. She talks creepy. She talks about Cassandra, um,
yep.
which is obviously crazy lady with prophecies. No one
Mm-hmm.
listened to her. And she says the hello goodbye thing, and I need to get ready, and I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna hit this one. It's like, okay, yeah, about
I'm
time to
on the
back
wrong
out.
side of the street at one point, which I like that analogy. Like,
Yeah,
she's going the other way.
yeah. She's different now. And basically tells him to piss off. Uh,
Yep.
politely, a bit politely. And yeah, he leaves this crazy little virtual environment.
So we get the gear up scene for every heist movie, which I love
Of
because
course.
what do we see?
Oh, we see the pink backpack with a fucking unicorn on it. Rainbows is the
Yeah.
best thing. And it has, I did notice before, the inside of the bag has LED blue lights in there. And I didn't notice that before. And I love it.
Yep. You gotta light up the drug stock so everyone knows.
It's so good.
It's very good.
He puts a bunch of guns in there and he picks up this little device and they say, got to get that to within a meter of her when she starts uploading her
Yep.
DHF. Like
And
when
it
she
will.
starts backing up, you
Yep.
need to give that to her at that point. And then good things will happen. And
Yeah.
they're like, this is really dangerous. This is really like on the edge of everything. And like you're trying to thread the eye of a needle. It's like, well, yeah, he needs to get within a meter of her at exactly the right freaking time. And she's up in head in the clouds. Like,
And the
it's.
only way to get into head in the clouds is you have to be a meth, basically.
Mhm.
You have to go through several introductory sessions, which no
Mhm.
one's like Elliot, which they talk about like, oh yeah, we fixed up Elliot with a general status, and we bought the most expensive package. Uh, and they talk about it, and then he's like, well, what are the introductory sessions? And Ava's like, it doesn't matter because you're not going to do them.
That was there's like there's those little kind of like wifey moments here, which is just hilarious. Like you're not going to be fucking these people, right?
Like, you get that, right? You're not going to go out there and have sex.
He's like, yes, dear.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Um, they're such a cute couple, and
Yeah.
I love the Elliot so much. But you get all this weird stuff, and finally, you see Elliot driving to Head in the Clouds in this general's attire, and Kovac just curled up in the trunk around his pink backpack, just like
Fucking amazing.
because Head in the Clouds has any unidentified thermal signature will trigger an alarm. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they have to get Elliot onto Head in the Clouds so he can get to an access panel, so Mickey can code him an all access pass so his thermal signature doesn't set anything off.
Yeah. So
It's
that
a
he can
classic
get-
heist.
Right. Yeah, it's a classic heist thing.
Like a lot of moving parts.
So, and this is when we start getting to the really disturbing shit of this episode, and holy fuck my balls, that's just incredible. So we find that General Elliot goes into this room and he finds this girl, basically, 19 years old, she claims, and basically says, you know, this is my body, this is my sleep. I'm 19 years old. She opens this box and it has a knife in there, a bolt gun, and I want to say a whip.
It's got a whip, yeah.
And a whip. And basically, we start finding out that this is basically a snuff whore. This is a woman that you can bury a knife into, and as she says, you can rip me a hole and then fuck me in it. Which was like, holy shit, that's graphic as fuck. And we hear it on the other side. Like we hear Ava, like, you know, basically everyone has the same reaction that I did of like, oh, that's dark and gross. Also the other part of me, like, holy shit, I can't believe they did this, and a thing that I respect to the writers on this for being that going there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we basically find that this is what it is happening, and Elliot's like, we aren't doing this. This is weird. And then we go on to discover that no, she in fact hasn't met any other girls who have survived this, because they are promised that once they have been killed, that they will get re-sleeved. And she hasn't met anyone that has happened to. And obviously, they draw all the lines, the parallels, like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah,
You're just killing them.
Yeah.
So he drugs her, which was always the plan. She
And
passes out, and he tucks her into.
Right? Yeah, he tucks her in her bed, which I also love that because like you see like Elliot as like a good person and also like this like still like dealing with this like he's a father here where like there's this young girl who's like, oh my god, you're gonna get murdered, like you don't understand that, but you're definitely in a lot of danger here, and he just wants to protect her, which is so. It's so nice. He's just like, I don't want you to die. You're so young, and
Yeah. and she clearly doesn't understand that this is what's going to happen to her.
Yeah.
She's just going to die, because we know that all the various little prostitutes and stuff that have been offered here have that Neo C coding, so they can't be brought back to life.
Yep.
Which is not pleasant. And essentially he leaves the room.
And goes,
He goes
to
the cupboard.
Yeah, the cupboard. Let's call it the cupboard. To start hacking in, and we get to see Kovacs curled up in the trunk of the car, and his envoy training says, "Hey, there's some people coming towards you." So we get that like black wall with like yellow highlights of people walking.
Fireflies, right?
Yeah, the fireflies. He's like, "Oh no!" And then he's like moving. I think he's trying to shift, but he thumps the top of the trunk, and the alarm goes off. And everyone's like, "Oh no, what's happening? Oh no, Kovacs, what's happening? Why is this going on? Hello, what? Why are you not talking to me?"
In typical heist fashion, things go wrong. Shit goes sideways, and we see him prick his thumb with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see these two guards wandering around the car. We see the backpack on the ground, which I thought was fucking hilarious to me. And obviously a fight ensues. And we see Kovacs beating the snot out of these two guards.
Well, no, he breaks one's neck right off the bat.
Yep.
Throws the knife at the other one, who dodges it, and then he starts fighting this dude.
Yeah, they go hammer and tongs at it, and eventually it ends up with Kovacs kicking the guy off of the platform.
But the guy has a hold of the pink backpack, so it pops open, and the guy goes over the edge of the platform, and all the guns go over the edge of the platform. And Ava's like, "Please tell me you have the antenna." And that's the only thing that didn't fall off the platform.
Of course, yeah,
of course.
Convenience.
Well, if it had, like, oh my god, this would have been the worst.
Yeah, plot convenience. The only thing they actually needed in that bag was the only thing that actually didn't fall out off the platform.
I mean, honestly, if that was the only thing I had to have, that thing would be in my pocket 100%.
Oh yeah,
it would not be like, in a backpack. It would be like in my pocket. Like, I know exactly where this is.
That would be like duct taped to my arm. That thing's fucking right. Like, this is my shit. Which so yeah, he picks that up.
It leads to the best line here, which is they ask him, "Hey, why aren't you triggering the alarms?" And Kovacs is like, "Oh, I dosed myself with Reaper, so my body temperature is too low to actually set the alarm off." And Mickey's like, "Wait a second, did you say Reaper? Are you gonna pass out?" Poe says, "Mr. Kovacs possesses a singular will," to which Mickey responds, "What?" And Ava goes, "It means he's a suicidal idiot who never ever gives up."
Yes. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's perfectly it. That's amazing.
And it's such a like rapid exchange of lines of Poe, who is this like kiss-ass AI, who's like, "He's just an amazing person," and Ava be like, "He's a goddamn idiot who's gonna get us all killed."
The dude playing Ava is fucking top notch here for playing that like disappointed mother. It's so good. Like, oh dear.
Yep.
What kind of child do I have? That he's fucking nails it. He's so good at this. It's just again top notch to the casting on this. Holy crap!
All so good. I think we may run a little long because this next bit is a lot of like switching stuff here.
Yeah.
The next thing is Elliot leaves the panel after he's hacked into it, and he's walking back to the car, and he runs into this like dude dressed like a high priest. Honestly, that's the best description I can give him. He's wearing this weird like robe thing. He looks like he's trying to LARP something. And two bodyguards. And the guy's like, "Oh, why are you leaving so soon? It's only been like a few minutes. You had the whole floor to yourself. We can get you another woman or a man or a child." And Elliot's just like, "Oh, I have to go." Walks out to the car. Kovacs, who is now only has like 3 minutes to get to Ray, takes a different path than they planned on, and he goes through the synth storage unit where there is a guard molesting the synths. And here's the scene where you see everything forever. This guy's walking through a room of just naked people on racks.
Just the whole thing. Like that sometimes they have things strategically placed. Other times, nah, they were like. My favorite bit was when he was walking past and there was a headless synth. I thought that was hilarious. Like it just tickled me. There's one headless synth.
It's fine.
Fair enough. So yeah, he meanders through this thing, and I think he sees we see one of the guards molesting the thing. We see all these things, and we see the effect that Reaper is having on Kovac.
He's like stumbling around,
and we hear Ava basically count the time down of like there's no time left. There's no time left at all. Yep. And then Elliot's just like, "Nah, fuck this shit."
Yeah, he turns around just as High Priest dude and bodyguards come back out. And the guy's like, "We can get you anything. Please don't leave. Your pleasure is my goal. Just tell us what you want." and Elliot murders 3 people in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I want to do, which is
Yeah.
great, because then he takes off to go help Kovac, who at some point has called him the worst backup ever.
Yes.
Um,
That's shortly before he stabs himself, reaps himself, doses himself up with
yeah.
Reap.
Oh, so
Um,
we're getting that countdown of 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Kovac is at the door to Ray's apartment, and he can't get it open. Elliot runs up with the gun. Yeah, because he's like, oh my god, and it's locked. Elliot runs up with the gun and shoots the door, so it pops open. And it's like 3, 2, 1, as they run in, and Ray turns around to look at him, and he slides the antenna across the floor, because that's how you do things.
Of course.
Yep, which then activates. Ray goes into her backup, so she does the thing we've seen before of her like eyes blinking rapidly and stuff.
Not a camera moment. Yeah.
Yep. And then we see we see Ava and Mickey seeing a count up, and then the power goes out. And they're like, oh no, it must have been a counter insurgent surge or whatever. Like basically, it kicked us out. Yeah, we're locked out. Did you have enough time to do it? And Ava's like, hell yeah, I did.
It's my favorite bit because there's that moment they do it just long enough to make you go like, because we see like 89% like backed up, that sort of thing, and we never see it hit 100, but all the power goes out, and we just have that moment where Mickey asks like, did you do it? And she just kind of like sits there for a minute and then looks up and goes, hell yeah. And you just get that like, oh thank fuck, oh thank Christ, because then it goes back to Ray and we're like, oh thank God she's fucked. We know she's fucked as the audience member. I'm so happy at this point.
We don't know what they've done yet, but we know she is fucked. And Ray is upset that Kovac is here and Elliot's here and all this other stuff. At one point she's like, which one are you?
Which one are you? Yeah. She really has no regard for anyone other than Kovac.
Yeah, not even a little bit. And she's like, I'm going to kill you. You can kill me, but I'm just going to come back and kill you. And it's just what's going to happen. And Kovac is like, no, I had your backup spiked with Rollins virus. Jimmy DeSoto says hello. Which, fuck you.
Yeah, basically. My little bit favorite in here when they're having this like little tete-a-tete of like, I spiked your backup, and she's like, I'm gonna kill everyone you ever knew and fuck all of you and everything that's going on until you become my brother and fuck buddy again. He wanders over because she's a criminal, because she's an evil mastermind. There are weapons on the wall. He knows which set of weapons to pull open because he knows there's gonna be like a drug treatment in there somewhere. It's like, how would he know that? Like, how?
Because she opened it in front of him when he was recovering from Fight Drone.
Yes.
She tried to give him that like Goliath stim to like get him back on his feet. So he knew it was there.
Okay, because I didn't recognize this place like at all as being the apartment they were in before.
It is, yeah.
I just didn't notice. Anyway, so he goes in, he picks up the drug, stabs himself with the antidote to Reaper, and they just carry on the conversation like, yeah, I'm just doing it. It's just a matter of fact.
It's another Tuesday, basically.
Yep, welcome to Tuesday.
But he tells Ray, I want a full confession from you. And her response is, no one's going to believe you. And he's like, oh no, I have a camera in my eyeball, so tell me everything. To which she does, because it's that moment where the supervillain gets to monologue for a minute. And we find out that Mary Lou Henchy jumped because she saw this happen. And
essentially what happened is that, you know, Ray needed a really good excuse to get her brother out of ice. So she's like, right, I'm gonna focus on Bancroft. I'm gonna make
just
him...
that. She wanted 653 stopped.
Yes.
Because 653 would have ruined her, because 653 was even if you're religiously coded, we can spin you up in virtual to ask you what happened.
And she needed Bancroft to help stop that because he's a mess.
Yeah, and because he has a power at... Not only that, he's part of the UN assembly.
Yeah. So he was basically a very key player in making that not happen, because obviously she's selling the experience of fuck a girl and kill her.
And kill her for real, and she'll never come back, and it's fine.
Yeah, she'll never screw you. So she basically ended up manipulating
Miriam,
who gave Bancroft a dose of some weird ass stallion, I think.
It's called Stallion, yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Through a kiss.
Of course.
And anyone want to guess when that kiss was?
I believe that's when he was waking up, when he's needle casted back, right?
Yep, when he comes back from Osaka.
Yep.
She gives him a kiss. He gets dosed with Stallion. And Ray says, once he was dosed, Miriam knew he'd kill the next thing he fucked, and she knew it wasn't going to be her.
Yeah.
Because he went to Head in the Clouds, real death to girl by smashing her snack. Mary Lou didn't want that to happen and ran away. To which she jumped off the side of Head in the Clouds because she thought, they'll find my stack, they'll spin me up, I'll tell them everything that happened. Bada bing, bada boom, bunch of people in jail. Obviously it didn't happen. 653 didn't go. But Bancroft, because he was guilt-ridden, because as Ray says, she says, you'd call it honor. He has a sense of, he has a code of ethics.
Archaic.
Yeah, archaic. You'd call it honor. Basically, he was so upset that he killed a girl.
He real deathed. Yeah.
He blew his own stack out before his backup, so he wouldn't remember. But he's also a narcissistic piece of shit and wouldn't let himself believe that he killed himself. So he was convinced he was murdered. And then Ray was like, ooh, perfect time to get my brother out of ice so I can fuck him. Mm-hmm. And it's terrible. And then the Ghostwalker shows up and stabs Elliot in the leg. And Kovacs gets surrounded by a bunch of guards with zappy batons. And it cuts to black.
What I liked about this ending is because it came so suddenly. Like,
it really did.
It didn't feel like, I'm about to hit the end. There's a swell of music. There's a look. There's a thing. No, it just goes, well, you're fucked now. Bamf. And it just cuts to the Firefly thing, which is like, holy crap. That was a sudden ending. The reason I'm not normally a big fan of evil masterminds telling them their plan that's coming or telling them about how smart they are. I liked this because it was done as a confession. It was very well. It wasn't like I'm gonna tie you up and tell you my plans. No, it was I done fucked up. I done fucked up. I need to tell you what happened here because no one's gonna believe you anyway. I like how that was subtly done over the evil mastermind. I have you all tied up and you're now my bitches.
Yep.
Of course, there's always a little bit of she's playing for time, simply because I assume she knows that there's help coming from the Ghostwalker. I'll keep talking. Oh gosh. There's a Drew. He's opening the door. Sorry. And he's coming back.
I heard a very loud bang, and I wanted to make sure everything was okay with the doggies.
Okay. I assume they're good.
Yeah, as soon as I opened the door, they were like, what's up?
That's a human. Get it. That's okay. As long as they're fine. Yeah, so apart from the possibility of playing for time, I like the fact this wasn't a traditional, I've got you tied, I'm going to tell you all my plans. I think that was very well done.
I agree. It's a very good ending. It's a very sudden ending, and it's like, oh, how are they going to get out of this mess? Because there's no logical lull to the story that then's like, oh, we'll go into the next thing. Nope, it's just, they're fucked. Yeah.
The pacing on this was spot on. It literally just felt like a freight train from beginning to end. Like, you might have come into this episode halfway through, 20 minutes in at the beginning and then 20 minutes out from the end. This is how this felt. It felt like the middle of an episode. It's just 50 odd minutes of this. It's this was just holy crap. And the way everything explained itself, they're going backwards and going, oh yeah, this was we're going to go back 18 hours and show you how we got to this point. I love that. I love the heisting coming together. I loved how everyone came in and went, Kovacs, you're being a tool. We are helping you with this.
You're a big dumb baby and you need help.
Yeah, grow the fuck up. I loved Poe's my friends was possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was a good one.
I was laughing so hard. There were so many what moments in this. I like the fact it's ended on you'll have to find out next week because there's nothing set for this. We don't know how this part of the heist was going to go because we assume he thought he was just going to die. And being that some of us know there's a series 2, I hope that's not the case.
Bum, bum, bum. Hey, Volanda.
Yeah.
How would you rate this episode?
Oh, this is like a good 5. This, if I could go beyond 5 out of our list of 5, this is way beyond that. This is this is the other side of 5. This is so. I love this episode.
The other
it's
side
so good.
of 5.
There's so many little things in here.
Yeah, I agree.
Apart from the weird sexual tension, that's the only niggle. But I fucking love this episode. It's so good.
Yeah, that's the worst part of this whole episode is because it's appeared in other episodes, but in this one it's way more
They go ham on it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you get it? These two want to fuck.
Well, no, I think she wants to fuck. I think he's not down
Okay,
to.
you're
Like,
right. Fine. She
yeah.
wants to fuck, and as their brothers and sisters, that's weird. But if it were not the case of related, it'd be like, man, she's just a creepy stalker.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad they took that out though. Like, if they had removed the sexual tension, we'd be good. But I'm glad they didn't make it another fuck partner.
No,
Because
I agree. I think the story, at least for a short, 10 episode season of a TV show, the family drama works out much easier. It's a lot easier to explain, like, oh, they're related and they had a shitty life and all this other stuff, to explain very quickly why they are as deeply connected as they are.
yeah, it's a lot easier to swallow than yet another yet another fuck buddy. No,
Exactly.
it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for next week. I really can't. I was like, damn it, I have to hit pause again. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'd also rate this a 5. Again, with the same note of they should really have gotten rid of the sexual tension between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable and nobody wants it there. Please stop that.
Yeah, I just made it was just like major props to the writers for like going balls into this. Like, you know, what? Yeah, we're gonna put that awkward like child killing bullshit in now. We're gonna put that awkward like, yes, this is a snuff whore stuff going in there. With the graphic descriptions, although they don't do it, they just give you some very graphic description. Like, I'm so glad they had the nerve to do that because you don't often see it. And yeah, it's not strictly needed, but I think in this situation, it's really played out really well. It's a dark, gritty thing, and I'm glad they didn't shy away from it.
I agree. Next week is going to be great because it's going to be the wrap up, and I remember the wrap up being very good.
It was good. It's possible.
It's very good. I can't say much, but also there's parts of it I'm like, did that happen in that episode or did I make that up?
Well, now everything that you remember that you haven't seen so far definitely has to have happened in this episode.
That's fair. Or I dreamed it.
Or you dreamed it, yeah, one of the two.
Which is,
You're fan fictioning in your own head.
hey, you know what? Maybe I just wanted Kovacs just kiss somebody else.
Okay, yeah, true.
Just
Poe, for example.
exactly. Have a whole fan fiction of Kovac and Poe fucking. I don't have that.
Would it be Kovac? Or
Ooh, it would definitely be Kovac.
we've got to be Povac. I think any other permutation doesn't work.
No, Kovac is definitely what their celebrity name would be.
Excellent. I'm glad we sorted that out.
See, now everyone who's listening at any point knows that that's what we said. They're all part of this.
It's so twisted. Nobody stopped us. That's the problem.
That is the problem. No one said, "Hey, don't do that. Stop the
Yeah, no
thing
one
that
said
you're
don't do
thinking of."
Yeah. All right. I guess that's probably it then.
That's it.
That's Oh no, there was one other thing. It was the other like one thing. Like, I think we covered all the like the mini things that I thought was really cool in this episode. Was the God's gonna cut you down music?
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember exactly when it comes in. I think it's when he's playing with a stack waiting for Ray. I think. But I just love that.
It's either that scene or it's the 18 hours earlier part. But I think it's that scene, the one that goes into the diner.
Yeah, I think it's that scene, and I love that music. Also, it's a really good choice for a song in that moment, and also like the change, because I only know the Johnny Cash version. Like, I love the changes on it. It sounds so good. It was such a good choice. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
It was an amazing choice of music. Again,
It was
very well made show. Everyone involved clearly gave it their best, and no one phoned it in.
No, nobody phoned this one in.
Yeah, but we actually did finish on time, which I think is pretty cool.
We nailed it.
We nailed it. But yeah, Philanda, you want to do the bits?
The bits. You can find me on Twitter at blood_BTP. You can find the Lucky Die, which releases in a few hours, where we finish off the part 2 of the crazy crossover with the Dark Dice podcast, which came out last month and should be coming out again in a couple of weeks. The White Vault comes out again this Tuesday. Go listen to that. I think that's everything I'm on this week. There's more coming out towards the end of the year.
Well, it's that time for it.
And what about you, Drew?
I'm Drew Tillman, and you can find me on Twitter at NotThatDrew. You can hear me every other Monday on Taking Initiative, where I am currently playing Krusk and trying to disgust everyone with a happy married couple in the game.
It's sick.
That's all I want. I want to discuss everyone. You should listen to the Dark Dice because at some point, I don't know when, I'll show up in it.
You're like season 2, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's some
so
point.
far.
That's all I know is some point. But I will show up.
You
And
will
that's
show
the
up.
point.
Yes.
At some point, I will be there.
It'll be worth listening to.
My statement's not incorrect. It just doesn't give you a time frame.
No, no, no. I mean, I don't think even Travis knows the time frame.
No, just know what's gonna happen at some point.
At some point, yeah. Scary thing is I need to finish transcribing those episodes. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, fun times. Fun times. Right, I
That's it.
guess that's it then.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think there's anything else.
No, there's nothing else. All right.
I'm gonna say
I guess
bye,
we'll see you
everybody,
guys.
and we'll see you
Bye.
next week for the wrap up of this. It's very exciting. I think that one's gonna be an extra long episode. Honestly,
Possibly, yes. I
Yeah.
hope so.
probably. I think even afterwards we should just talk about it. So I think we should
Yeah.
give ourselves some time at the end. Anyway, we'll handle
Alright.
that next week. It was nice seeing everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye bye bye.